When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. Septum Sin versus the Wild. Septum Sin versus the Wild. Septum Sin versus the Wild. Septum Sin versus the world.
I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings! You're watching Septum Sin vs. World. I'm Septum Sin, this is Kotobuki Jake,
Hi.
and we're here from Dogtown, USA.
Yes.
Mainly because there's a barking dog in the background. It is my parents' dog, and we cannot get it to stop barking, so we will just have to hope that the microphone picks up as little of it as possible.
This is why I live with cats.
Small dogs like to bark. That's just what they do. In any case, we have quite a bit going this week,
Right.
so let's show you that beautiful movie footage. We got a lot going, and I think
But you'll notice no Gundam.
We've had a dry Gundam.
We do have some Black Clover to try to fill that spot, but you know.
Yeah. So I will let you go ahead and start us this week. I think you have like a couple more than I do.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and start off with a shout out to tremendous quality multiple Golden Raspberry winner. Holmes and Watson is making its home video bow. So if you missed it in theaters and you still think it's going to be a good movie, here is your chance to take it home for yourself.
I'm surprised you haven't seen it yet.
I kind of wanted to, and then I saw the previews, and then I was like, and then I heard the reviews, and I was like, the hell? And then it cleaned up at the Razzies. It was like, I still think the idea of Ray Fine as Moriarty and Hugh Laurie as Mycroft Holmes might be worth the price of admission, but Will Ferrell as Sherlock Holmes might... That's not... It doesn't look promising.
You know, though, oddly enough, comedy Sherlock Holmes films have done pretty well in the past. I remember, well, one of my favorite Gene Wilder films is Sherlock Holmes' Smarter Brother. And,
I'm sure you probably would be the first person to say Gene Wilder, and you probably would not want to compare Will Ferrell to Gene Wilder.
No, definitely not. I'm just saying it can be done.
Right.
I have actual props for most of these, so I'm going to start with the one I don't have, which is the Amityville Horror which is another retelling of
Amityville Murders? Or...
Amityville. It's the Amityville Murders. It's another retelling. So, many people seem to like this. I will eventually be getting this. I just don't want to pay the full price for it. I'm waiting until it comes down in price, but yes, it is on my list. I must have it. It is a part of my must-of collection. If any of you haven't seen it, you need to go back into our archives and check out my Amityville film collection. And I have a large one. Did you get to see that?
Are you talking about the video, or are you talking
the
about...
video?
Oh, yeah, I saw it.
I'm sure you've seen some of them in real life, too. No. But you haven't seen any of the Amityville
I don't think
films?
I have.
Wow.
I know. I'm bad.
Oh, well, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, who has time for those when there's Holmes and Watson, right?
Yeah, of course.
Well, actually, one of the themes this week is get used to disappointment. Because, after all, 3 of the ones I'm going to talk about are movies that came out and fizzled at the box office. But probably none, even Holmes and Watson was probably no more dramatic. The critics despised it from the get-go. But in terms of box office duds, one of the biggest ones last fall, unfortunately, was Robert Zemeckis' Welcome to Marwen, which is directed by Robert Zemeckis, features Steve Carell, and a whole bunch of puppets. And, hey, Mr. Larson. And it...
the second film with a whole bunch of puppets that flopped that year.
But not as infamous as Happy Time Murders, I'm afraid. Welcome to Marwen, just no one noticed it. It came and went. I noticed that it was coming out because I saw the big posters and I'm like, this looks promising. But I never made it to it either. I'm sorry, I contributed to its failure, I suppose. But I would like to see it. It looks interesting. I will get it eventually from the library. I'll probably end up getting it. Zemeckis typically is a good director, and he has had films before that just got horribly overlooked. I thought The Walk was a wonderful film.
Yeah.
But it triggered my is it acrophobia, I believe it is. It triggered that something.
Agoraphobia?
No, acrophobia, fear of heights.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what they call it.
Yeah.
It triggered that something fierce. I got vertigo watching the damn thing, especially because I saw it in theaters and I insisted on watching it in 3D. Might not have been the best plan, but Welcome to Marwen. I'm curious why it was so roundly dismissed, but it's supposedly not a bad film, so maybe it'll have a second life on home video,
Well, my last 3 I actually have props for. One of them is a new release, and the rest are re-releases of something I own. And since we're about physical media here, I'm about showing it. But first I'll show the box art up here, as you can see, for Boruto. Yes. Naruto Next Generation Set 1 is out. Well,
coming
next
out.
week.
Yes.
But I am looking forward to it, and I'm not. I'm not getting it. The only Boruto I have is this, which is the movie. Technically, it's a Naruto movie. So it's, I think, the last one, the official last Naruto movie. And
after Naruto the Last?
Yeah, I know. But actually, Naruto the Last, it actually sets up the future that Boruto exists in.
Exactly.
And Boruto, there's always the joke going around, Boruto's dad. And it's an interesting movie. I've read a little bit of the manga, and from what I've heard, it's got a flavor very similar to the original Naruto series, but a little bit calmer, not as desperately, not as, the world politics are not as, the stakes aren't as high, I should say.
Well, yeah.
So, I've heard it's good, I've heard it's fun, it's got a lot of the fun of the original series back, which might be worthwhile. When the series, when the main series does end here in the States, it'll be on my list to start, but I'm not going to be rushing to do it. It seems like Naruto will never end.
Yeah. Well, and I, of course, am slowly creeping my way toward that. I have read volume 3 of the Naruto manga. But I really want to get into Boruto, but I really don't want to until I have done Naruto, and that's going to take a while. But it looks fun. I did read one of the one-shot manga that featured the main trio of characters, and it was pretty interesting. So next we do have another one that got a decent amount of buzz when it came out, but it failed to get the Oscars it was angling for, and it just overall, it was a big holiday Oscar season for movies featuring the notorious RBG. And, of course, in the end, they didn't make as much fuss as we hoped.
Yeah.
But there's a film about Ruth Bader Ginsburg's younger years as a lawyer, and it's called On the Basis of Sex. And from what I understand, it focuses on a landmark case where she argued sex discrimination against a guy, but that was a way to lay the groundwork for, And I believe it's... Is it Haley Atwell that plays her? I feel really bad that I'm forgetting this. But it looks good. It looks interesting. I want to see it. I have a hold on it through the library. I'll get there one of these days. But it was another one that was like, there was too many movies out. I wasn't going to rush to go see it. And hardly anyone else did either. But it wasn't as big a dud as the other two.
Well, my next one is a re-release of Sentai Filmworks, and that is from the series Is It Wrong to Try and Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? We have Is It Wrong to Expect a Hot Spring in a Dungeon?
Absolutely not. It is not wrong in the least.
This one is strange because I have counted 3 releases of this particular OVA, because we've covered it on this. This is the 3rd time we have covered it on this news channel, and I have even proof of it. You saw what the cover looked like up above. It's the same darn thing. I got it extra cheap because I got it on the DVD when they did the original DVD blowout. But still, I mean, really.
My guess, I was telling him before, I don't have this particular piece of the franchise because I'm collecting the franchise on Blu-ray, and they have not put it on sale on Blu-ray that I've seen.
Yeah.
So my guess is maybe that they might have actually done too short a run and had to re-release it. So I could be wrong, but it seems likely.
Yeah, very possible.
Yeah. Speaking of re-releases, we have a very interesting twofer out this week from Criterion Collection. The critical darling known as Jim Jarmusch has 2 films being released on Criterion, Night on Earth and Stranger Than Paradise. In all honesty, I'm not familiar with either film. I've seen several of Jarmusch's films. They tend to be arty as hell. And, of course, anything Criterion is on my radar. I'll probably seek these out one of these days.
Yeah.
Probably not this July because I've already got a long list. But definitely, these are on my radar. I do think it's interesting that they're doing a dual release this week. But for you Jim Jarmusch fans, it's going to be pretty awesome. Yeah.
So... last on my list is a repackaging, at least, not a release of the same product, and that is Princess Resurrection. Now, I don't know much about this. I know that there's some similarities to Is This a Zombie? Very loose similarities. I mean, she has a chainsaw, from what I recall. This is the original Sentai release of it.
Well, that one's supposedly much bloodier, isn't it?
It is. This one's more serious in a lot of ways. Still, it does have a... I have been wanting to see it eventually, and when I'm done with my NIS watching, maybe I will move to that. Not that I have a shortage of things to go to. I could probably go and look at almost any wall and find something that I really should have watched by now. Okay, I, Tonya.
Yeah. You should have watched that.
Astro Boy.
I should have watched that.
The Jazz Musician.
I should have watched. Well,
maybe not. Let's see. Zoolander. Well, I've seen Zoolander.
Oh, I've seen Zoolander.
You know,
but
that's
your copy.
Yeah, but that's the kind of thing that there is. So unfortunately, no matter where I go, I've got stuff that I need to see.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't that initial Sentai release way out of print?
I'm sure it is at this point.
I feel like this one's been out of print for a while, or at least one half of it has.
Yeah, I mean, 26 episodes. You can get them all in one place. So I do see the sense of this re-release.
Oh, yeah.
Even if this is still in print, I would say that having it on Blu-ray, so it's a smaller package, you get all of your stuff on one package, it would be a better buy.
And we have noticed, we could consider this a light news item, sort of. Sentai has announced in the last couple weeks several catalog titles getting their first Blu-ray releases from them. And of course we'll talk about them as they come to you, the customer. But they are putting quite a few of their catalog titles on Blu-ray, so that's kind of cool. I'm looking forward to that. And then the last one, I saved the best for last.
I figured you would.
I did. I was building up a film that should get a Criterion release in 5 or 6 years from now. The big one, Mirai no Mirai by Mamoru Hosoda, known simply as Mirai, actually managed to snag a Best Animated Feature Oscar, the first non-Ghibli anime to get that done.
Well, nod.
I said nomination.
Okay.
Didn't I?
You said snag an Oscar.
Did I? I thought I said nomination. Whatever. It did not because it was beating Into the Spider-Verse, but I'm cool with that. But Mirai is arguably the better of the two, but they're both pretty flippin' awesome films. Mirai is arguably Hosoda's best film so far, although it's hard to call because I really loved Summer Wars. I really loved The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. I really love Wolf Children. Really, it's easier to say the weak one, which was The Boy and the Beast. But they're all great films.
Even that one was amazing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're all great films. And it's about damn time he's getting some serious praise over here.
About time someone other than Ghibli's getting any praise.
Exactly. The fact that Your Name did not get a nod was criminal. Anyway, Mirai is very much on my to-get list. I actually don't have a pre-order yet just because I kind of went overboard with the pre-orders, but I will be getting it soon.
Yeah, I don't have it pre-ordered either. I'll just have to wait. Eventually it will release. Who is releasing it?
It will be mine. Oh, yes, it will be mine.
Who's releasing it?
I think it's Shout.
Oh, well, you might
I could be wrong because
I'll find it at Walmart for $14.
I know Funimation was doing all of Hosoda's films, but I don't think they're releasing this one.
Well,
I think it is Shout.
There's a simple way to look and see. It doesn't say on there.
So it's not as simple as you thought.
I thought it would be just simple.
But Funimation usually does have it on the cover, though.
Yeah, Shout is hard to tell.
Yeah.
But it'll be out.
So yeah, if Shout's releasing it, maybe they'll probably pull a thing they did with the girl, with Night of Short Walk On Girl, which I still have not found in a single Walmart. They got all the others lined up for like $16, but not that one.
Oh well. One of these days, I'm going to run into the Sound Euphonium series for $15.
You do that, you're buying 2 copies. Let me know. Okay.
All right. Well, with that being said, I think we've got everything covered this week. What is it that you're looking forward to coming out this week? There has been an announcement by David Sterling, by the way, that Camp Blood Kills is going to be in his store very soon. If you haven't visited his store, you should. Check him out on Facebook, and we will check you out in the comments. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.